The bar was loud with laughter and clinking glasses, but the man sitting alone at the far end felt like he was drowning in silence, his shoulders heavy, his eyes fixed on the amber liquid in front of him as if it held answers he could not afford to ask for any more. He was a single father who hadn't planned on being here tonight, a man who spent most evenings folding tiny clothes, reheating leftovers, and whispering bedtime stories to a child who believed his father was the strongest person in the world, even though inside he felt cracked and unfinished. That was when a woman in a tailored suit stopped beside him, the room seeming to slow as she took the empty stool, leaned closer, and softly whispered words that would change the direction of his life forever. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that happen between broken people, take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel Soul Tale, because stories like this are reminders that life can surprise us when we least expect it. He had not always been this man sitting alone, counting regrets between sips of a cheap drink. Years earlier, his life had been simple in the best way, built around love, routine, and plans that felt solid. Then illness came suddenly, mercilessly, taking his wife and leaving him with a toddler and a grief so heavy it felt physical. Friends tried to help at first, family checked in, but time moved on for everyone except him. He learned to wake before sunrise, pack lunches with shaking hands, work long hours at a modest job, and come home to a quiet apartment where toys lay scattered like proof that he had to keep going no matter how tired he felt. Nights were the hardest, when his child finally slept and the silence pressed in, reminding him of everything he had lost and everything he was terrified he could still lose. Coming to the bar that night was not about drinking or escape, it was about sitting somewhere that felt alive, just to remind himself he was still part of the world. The woman who sat beside him did not look like someone who noticed men like him. Her posture was confident, her presence commanding without being cold, the kind of person others unconsciously made space for. She was a CEO, though he didn't know that yet, a woman who carried success like a quiet weight rather than a loud trophy. Her day had been filled with boardrooms, contracts, and people who spoke to her because they wanted something. Sitting down next to a stranger was not part of her routine, but something about his loneliness reached her in a way she could not explain. When she leaned closer and whispered that he should stay with her tonight, it was not said with flirtation or hunger, but with an unexpected gentleness, as if she was offering shelter rather than temptation. He froze, embarrassment and confusion rushing through him. His first instinct was to pull away, to assume there was a catch or a cruel misunderstanding. Men like him did not belong in stories where powerful women noticed them for the right reasons. He carried exhaustion in his eyes, old pain in his posture, and responsibilities that left no room for reckless choices. Yet when he finally looked at her, really looked, he saw something familiar behind her confidence, a loneliness that mirrored his own, polished but not erased. They did not talk much at first, but the air between them softened, and for the first time in years, he felt seen without being judged or pitted. That night did not unfold the way dramatic fantasies often do. There was no sudden romance, no sweeping promises. Instead, there was conversation that felt like relief, honesty that spilled out slowly, and a strange sense of safety that surprised them both. He spoke about his child, about the fear of failing as a father, about how every decision felt like it could break the fragile balance of their lives. She listened without interrupting, without offering solutions, and when she shared her own truth, it was not about wealth or power, but about the emptiness that came from living in a world where everyone expected her to be invincible. In that quiet understanding, something shifted for both of them. Days turned into weeks, and their lives began to intersect in small, careful ways. She did not try to rescue him or rewrite his world. Instead, she respected the boundaries of his responsibilities, showing up when invited and stepping back when needed. He struggled with pride and fear, questioning whether he deserved happiness or if opening his heart again was a betrayal of the past. There were moments when he almost pulled away, convinced that someone like her could never truly fit into his life. But each time, she met his doubt with patience, proving through actions rather than words that she was not there to take, but to stand beside him. The real test came when his child fell seriously ill, forcing him to miss work and face the terrifying possibility of losing the stability he had fought so hard to maintain. Old panic resurfaced, memories of hospital rooms and helpless nights flooding back. It was during this moment that he truly understood what her presence meant. She did not swoop in with money or grand gestures. She sat with him in waiting rooms, held his shaking hands, and reminded him that he was not alone anymore. In those long hours, he realized that strength was not about doing everything by yourself, but about allowing someone else to share the weight. As time passed, their connection deepened into something steady and real, built on mutual respect and shared scars. She learned to slow down, to appreciate the quiet victories of everyday life, while he learned that love did not always end in loss. The bar where they first met became a distant memory, replaced by moments that mattered more: laughter in kitchens, late-night talks, and the soft comfort of knowing someone chose to stay. If this story has touched your heart, if it reminded you that love can arrive gently even after life has been cruel, please take a moment now to like, share, and comment on this video, and subscribe to Soul Tale to support stories that believe in hope and human connection. And before this story ends, we have a special request for you. Comment below with one word that describes how this story made you feel, because your words might inspire someone else who is struggling in silence. In the end, the single father no longer sat alone, not because his life became perfect, but because he learned that even broken paths can lead to unexpected companionship. And the woman who once whispered an invitation in a crowded bar found something she never knew she was searching for, not in power or success, but in the simple, courageous act of choosing kindness when it mattered most.